I want to do a quick game. Quick game. You up for it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Marry, bang, kill, video game edition.
Oh,
Master
no.
Chief, Kirby, Samus from like Metroid Prime. Ready? Go.
Oh, God. Okay. I was caught off guard with the bang. That was funny. Jeez. All right. Well, let me think about this logically here. So I think Mary, sorry, Cass, my wife, she's watching.
This is another universe.
True. I'm a different person. Mary Samus, obviously. Listen, chat.
Okay.
I mean, come on, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Following that train of thought, just logically, bang. I mean, Kirby. I don't think I have to explain to most of you. I mean, have you seen the suck on that thing? All right. Anyway, and then I guess that just leaves kill, and unfortunately, I know Master Chief is just gonna obliterate me, so it's a very precise order. I have to marry.
That's gonna be a problem.
Well, no, I guess I would bang Mary and then die to Master Chief, but.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
That's my
nice.
answers.
I like it. That was good.
Well,
all right,
you're not getting off the hook that easy. What about you?
I think I'm more Mary Master Chief, because otherwise you're not going to get to do the other two. And then I'm with you on Kirby, bang Kirby, kill Samus. Right?
Wow. All right.
Am I even saying that right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Understandable.
No. I mean, you got the main part right. You got the Kirby right.
I guess Master Chief could be like a strong, he always sacrifices himself. It could be a good family, nice little married couple.
For sure. Like, I would have security all the time. Like, I don't have to worry about anyone rolling up on me.
Yep. Very true. We live in a society that celebrates people who are on the grind. But let's be honest, are some games and gaming habits too time-consuming? What are the potential negative side effects of spending all day playing video games? Tonight, we take a deeper look at gaming addiction and how it impacts us all. Well, hey everybody, my name is Ben, and welcome back to the Always Gametime Podcast. Joining me this week, as always, is our co-host, Ryan. Ryan, what's up? How are you doing?
Doing well. Excited to get right into it. We got a great show, and I'm excited for the Q&A.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excited. Yeah. Let's do it. All right. So I had a few quick things. If you didn't know, COD just released one of their biggest updates ever on the 21st and 22nd. This has multiple events. It's been pulling crazy numbers, and for the most part, I would personally say things have gone fairly smoothly. Sure, they have like 20 to 40 minute queues, but I mean, considering how many players they have going through there, I was pretty impressed. Kind of seems like from Black Ops to Warzone, they've had changes. If you like that kind of thing, go check it out. Now, the thing that really got me pumped this week is Resident Evil 4 is coming to the Oculus, meaning it's coming to VR. And I don't know for those that have played the Resident Evil 4 and up parts, but they're great, especially with 4. 4 is top notch, and I'm so excited to be playing that. I'm definitely going to be streaming that. Another thing that I am really looking forward to, and this might be more for streamers or podcasters as well, but OBS 27 has an update that is allowing the undo button. Can you imagine doing something that, imagine doing something in Word or Photoshop, whatever, and you can't undo? Yes, OBS hasn't allowed you to undo ever, and that coming is going to be great.
Allow me to chime in here really quickly. As someone who works on the production side of the podcast in this software, I have multiple times spent 30 minutes to an hour in OBS and made a mistake that has cost me dearly. And so if you are a streamer, this is crazy good news. I put in our podcast notes big capital yay, because I'm excited to fix the things I mess up on all the time, constantly. So very exciting.
For sure. And this is just, I can't believe it's taken 27? Yeah. 27 what? So, come on, this should be in one. But yeah, so they have that. And another thing I'm excited for is source transitions, which is basically animation. You're going to be able to add animation to any one item on stream or whatever you're seeing. So that'll be kind of fun. I think people will notice the production quality across streaming go up a little bit once that comes. And as a quick friendly reminder, I stream Tuesdays and Friday nights Ben, when's your stream schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. So aiming for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as well. So be sure to check out Ryan. And you guys obviously know where I stream at. So
yeah. Then the last thing I had was Horizon Zero Dawn is free to play until May 14th. So if anyone's out there and kind of looking for a budget game, but you haven't played, this is definitely a game you should go pick up. It's free. Couldn't recommend it any higher. And then they have the new sequel coming out. I think it's the holiday season this year. So be sure to check that out. I know since we've started this podcast, I've gotten the most requests for what game should I kind of play. And people are usually in my time period of life where they have kids, they're not able to play an online game. So they want something kind of pausable story, but yet still quality. So yeah, make sure to go check that out.
Do you know if that works? Like if you download it before that date, you have it forever, or is it like a trial weekend? If you don't, it's fine. I was just curious.
I believe it only works during that period.
Okay,
so you have until May 14th to beat it. Man. Yes. And it's easily a game you could spend more hours on, but it's easily doable playing an hour or 3 hours a week. You could get through it pretty easily before then.
Yeah, I might have to check that out then before that is up, because I know I downloaded it and I'm excited about that as well. So cool. Well, moving on, some kind of heartbreaking / not impactful news that happened to fans of Overwatch this last week. Jeff Kaplan, who was the creative director for Overwatch, just stepped down after 19 years with Blizzard. And there's all sorts of things going around about why this is happening. People are like, well, Overwatch 2 is doing bad, so maybe they fired him, or he's going to start his own game on the side. And there's not really anything confirmed here, guys, but what is confirmed is that the assistant creative director is now going to be taking their place. They said that they're still making great strides towards Overwatch 2 and look forward to sharing more of that content coming up with us later this year. And this shouldn't impact the game at all, other than our Jeff Kaplan memes that we all love so much, those of you that play Overwatch. And so this is pretty groundbreaking stuff, and I have to wonder a little bit, like, it's kind of like, why now? Like, Overwatch 2, like the sequel to this amazingly successful multiplayer game, is coming right around the corner, but it's all right. Probably on to bigger and better things, I suppose.
No, he's been there for decades, right? Like over 10 years. I see someone in the chat say 20 years, right? Yeah. I mean, that's a long time at one gaming company. I mean, we know those names, right? So him leaving, I wouldn't be too concerned with it, but obviously when there's a game about to come, that's the big red flag, right?
Yeah. Yep. So it's just interesting. But yeah, I thought it was noteworthy for sure for the podcast, especially since I love that game so much. This part kind of creeps me out, this next story that I wanted to share with you guys. So Sony is officially has created a patent for an AI bot that will play games for you. And the whole intention behind this is that this AI is going to be studying the decisions you make, the inputs you press, like how you play some of your favorite games, and then its goal is to replicate how you would play if, for example, you had to run to the bathroom. Or get this, the other thing that's kind of crazy is if you're really struggling with a boss, let's say in a game maybe like Dark Souls or something, their goal, and one of the things they've shared with us, is that they want to help gamers get through games that they might not otherwise be able to do. And so I know some people looked at this at first and were like, this is so cheesy and cheap, but when I was, further kind of reviewing it and the potentials of this, one area that I thought this would be extremely awesome for would be people that struggle with accessibility needs, who maybe can't perform as well with the usual inputs that the rest of us gamers do. And so as you're playing Call of Duty or some story game, this AI bot's learning your behaviors and how you play, and then can even potentially assist you with sections of the game. So I thought that was pretty neat and also scary.
Yeah, the first thing, like when I read this headline, I immediately thought, all right, this is companies that are going to extend their end of life, right? This is them creating better bots so you think their game is still fully populated. That's all I think this is. But I mean, it could be, I mean, you brought up some good points too, but I mean, that's my number one idea that they're going to do. Or when people disconnect, they're going to be like, all right, here we have his machine learned algorithm for what he is, put it in a bot now.
Well, and I almost wonder too if some gaming companies or developers are going to take this technology in the future and use it to help play test their games, versus
Ooh,
having like open betas and things like that for
that's
either
genius.
really like famous gamers or just like a control group of people, and that way
Yeah,
they can get more accurate data onto what they need to change before launching. I thought that would be kind of cool as well.
yeah. There's a lot of applications. I mean, we're just skimming the top of it here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then along the trend of technology, something I was super excited to hear about because I was really early on in the adoption of the new consoles, Xbox Series X and the PS5. The world's first HDMI 2.1 certified gaming monitor is going to be released later this year.
Nice.
And some of you guys probably are like, well, 2.1, 2.0, like what's the difference? It's HDMI, right? Technically, no. 2.1 really allows you to utilize the higher graphics quality and refresh rates of those systems. Specifically speaking, the higher refresh rate, the 144 hertz, the 4K gaming, that can't be transmitted on 2.0. And so, even on a big screen TV, you need the 2.1 to really utilize that from your consoles. And that's kind of hard to find. But in monitors, I spent hours. Because I play on monitors. A lot of
Yeah.
you that stream or maybe just prefer smaller screens probably understand the advantages to that. But I'm not getting the most out of those consoles when I play on them right now because I'm getting reduced graphics quality, reduced refresh rates. And so, with the release of this
Hmm.
technology coming out and down the line, this becoming more and more common, it should just mean that gamers have more choices on screen sizes for their consoles and how they want to play their games. So, I was really excited because, yeah, there's like none right now. So, good luck.
For sure. For sure. That's exciting. Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah. Do you plan on? So now, do you need a special? Explain that to me again. Do you need a special monitor that takes a 2.1, or
Yes,
is
it's a
it?
different port
Yes.
entirely. So it's different
Okay, it's a different
cable,
port
different
entirely.
port. Yep. As long as I'm
Yes. Yes.
understanding this correctly,
Yeah.
even when I was first setting up my consoles, it would do this automatic setup to see what the max
Mhm.
it could do on your screen was. And I'm stuck
Yep.
at basic 1080p 60
Dang.
hertz, even though I have a
Um,
144 hertz monitor. So
So I just upgraded a monitor, and you're telling me I'm gonna have to do it again. Awesome.
unfortunate, but true. You know how it goes with technology. There's only so
Oh,
much
for
we can
sure.
do.
You blink and yeah, it's time to
Yep.
update. Yep, yep. And I guess that is gonna lead us right into our main topic today. I wanted to talk about gaming addiction. So I know this is kind of 2 weeks in a row where we're kind of giving lectures a little bit, but I wanted to talk about gaming addiction and how it affects each and every one of us and probably our loved ones. Now, I'm not going to simply tell you, hey, dummy, quit playing so many video games. They're rotting your brain, right? Because we know that's not true. We know gamers have higher hand eye coordination. We know they're better at solving problems. Older gamers are said to keep their cognition compared to those that don't play games. I mean, there's just so many benefits. We also, I mean, we have to mention all the countless friends with online gaming, right? The number of friends I've made via gaming is a lot. But on the other end of that spectrum, we have addiction, which alters our moods, shortens our attention spans, destroys our sleep habits and diets. Even in the worst case, causes anxiety, carpal tunnel, and even in the most severe cases, depression. So before I wrote this segment, I really had to like sit down and kind of do a little self-reflection, a little reflection, a little see, you know, what how this has affected me, right? So I'm an only child. I've been gaming since I could remember. So probably 4 or 5, maybe younger than that. Um, Games were used as a motivation to do good in school, right? I had to utilize my time. I had to be self sufficient. I had to get good grades because grades were kind of how I got my allowance and how I bought my games, right? And I'm sure I'm no different than the rest of the AGT fam here, right? Games are kind of an escape, right? They're probably a sense of accomplishment when we do something well or finish a game or something of that nature. But there's a war going on for our time and our minds, right? And our wallet. And that's really what I wanted to focus on with this gaming addiction segment. The gaming industry has started hiring psychologists, neuroscientists, um, and market experts trying to turn customers into addicts, right? And this has led to the big rise in free-to-play games, right? So they want to bring in enough players to basically purchase their in-game merchandise. So the gaming companies have been using shady techniques, like they use in-game currency instead of just using real-world dollars. That's to kind of disassociate so you don't realize how much money you're actually spending, right? Um, and what that's called is disassociation, I think. They even have an exciting screen, right? Flashing lights and things all when you're going to open a pack, a box, a crate, a bag, a llama, a balloon, a tire, whatever else there is out there for loot boxes, right? And most of us have been there, click this time, and sure enough, it's nothing, and you're disappointed. Now, there's another thing that they're doing is called progression gates. Now, this is something, and I'm sure a few of you have kind of caught on to what the gaming community is doing. They're basically taking ideas from casinos and putting them in games. So we had gamification in casinos where they made stuff into games. Well, now we almost have gambling put into games, right? Gamblification, right? Bookmark that. Casinos have been doing these kind of things for years, and they're always going to be coming up with new things to keep people in. So obviously we're going to see games doing the same thing. Progress gates. So back to progress gates. Those are basically like when a game prevents you from playing anymore, and you have to pay a certain amount of time or money to continue to play. This is very common on mobile games for the most part. Candy Crush being a big example of that. Now, I've seen this implemented in a game that I just purchased, MLB The Show. I swear, we're not paid by the show or Sony or anything. We do a weekly plug for them all the time, whatever. But they have a mode. It's ironically called Battle Royale. It's 1,500 of their in-game currency, which is about $20 to do it, right? So you have to pay in to do this to get certain goods, whatever, certain card, certain player in order to do it. So it's interesting. Point being that they're doing these casino-like strategies and they're implementing them and kind of altering your awareness and consciousness of your spending. So I want to bring some awareness to all this. I think gaming culture is a lot more acceptable now. Like when I was a kid growing up in school, gaming was not, people called you a nerd for gaming, right? It had a little less, it was a little more negative than it is now. But now today, gaming addiction is looked a little too positive, and I really wanted to point that out, right? I had to battle with this, especially right when I had kids, because I used to sit down every day and play 2 or 3 hours of video games. But when I had my little ones, things had to change. There's other responsibilities. And one of the adjustments that I had to make was I had to set a schedule, right? That's what ended up working for me. But it caused a lot of hard times between me and my wife. And, the schedule ended up being the final answer to give me a healthy and still fun, moderate amount of gaming and something that I've always loved to do. And in the end, I'd like to just really point out again that if you are aware of what these games are trying to do to you, right? They're trying to take your time, right? Sometimes it feels like a useless task because they're just trying to get you hooked so you always come back. But if you're aware of that, you're going to be able to battle that, right? So, if you're one dealing with gaming addiction and you feel like you can't really get out of it or you're depressed or something like that, there are helpful places out there. There is one place that I found was AmericanAddictionCenter.org. They had a good program, and it's not just this drop it, don't ever do it again because you'll be hooked again. It's nothing like that. It's more, hey, let's find balance. Hey, let's go outside. Hey, let's exercise and then play games, right? That's all a healthy balance and approach. And also, please check us out in Discord. If you ever want to chat about this, chat with me personally about it, because I have seen others and I have dealt with it myself. Don't forget, on the live chat, you have pod Discord command, or we will be putting it in the show notes as well. So Ben, have you dealt with gaming addiction, or have you not much thought of it?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I mean, I'd hope I speak for the rest of the live audience and those listening. Thank you for bringing this to the show and for speaking on it, because this is something that not a lot of people really consider. There's a definite benefit to gaming, how it can just all the things you said, make new friends and be an emotional release and all these other great benefits. But at the same time, you can get to this point where sometimes you feel like you'd rather play this game than hang out with some friends, or you'd rather play a couple matches than do something that you really need to do that day. And it can be somewhat of a destructive habit as well. And so for me personally, I definitely think that it's something that I'm always trying to watch and catch myself on, because with a name like Always Gametime, you guys can probably guess I play games all the time, probably more than I should currently. And I know that with my wife and I, we've kind of struggled and still struggle sometimes to find this balance between personal time as well as when I stream and play games with friends and things like that. So it's all about balance, and I think gaming can be a really great thing when it's used in the appropriate way. But yeah, I definitely echo all of your sentiments and would encourage everyone, if you feel like you're dealing with this, and I want everyone listening to take this seriously, because it is,
take it seriously.
It's just like any other addiction. Like, some people are in this loop where they're spending more money than they should on cosmetics for a game, and they're spending too many hours playing this game instead of searching out for things they need in their actual life circumstances. If you're someone like this, or someone like this, with a gentle hand, you guys can always suggest the resources and the help from the community that exists currently for people dealing with this. So it's a real thing. I think that to some extent we probably all feel like at some point like the games we're playing are a waste of time. And the good news is that there's something you guys can do about those habits. And yeah, chat was flaming me that entire segment. So I was trying not to laugh while you were doing such a good job, but yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and read it. I had one more question. Do you avoid games that you feel that are unjustly trying to monetize? Like they're just trying too hard at the monetization.
Sometimes,
do you avoid them?
Kind of.
I feel that's gone away.
It's because it's becoming so commonplace. Like, when we see this free to play model has really opened up the ability for developers to kind of charge what they want for their cosmetics, because it's a free game. Like, you almost can't get angry with someone who's placed a free product like in front of you and you get to enjoy it for no entry cost, right? That's not something that we're completely used to. And because of the rise in this, production that we're seeing of free to play games and titles, I think people are giving a lot more leeway to this kind of thing. And just to really quickly throw it out, because I saw it in chat, Valorant is, I know I talk about this a lot, but they're kind of known for having these really high prices for their in-game cosmetics. And I agree with them. Like, it sucks like to have this cool thing that costs so much money if you want to use it to play this game. That being said, I am someone who has started to kind of give into that itch when I see a skin that I really like, because I've been putting so much more time to it. I can almost justify the cost. But even in that statement, you see, like, that's part of that mentality of, it's like, oh, it's just $20 for this skin, and I'm not going to buy another one now that I have it. And then in 2 months, they'll release something cooler at a higher price, and you'll really be kicking yourself, and you'll pay for that one too. And so it's something to watch out for, because it can be,
for sure,
it can be bad. But I don't typically, it just depends. Like, if a gaming company is really horrible, but I'm in love with their game, it's kind of hard for me to like morally abstain from that because of those decisions and things,
See, I remember when microtransactions came about, right? And that's one of my first experiences with really the paying models within a game. So you already purchased a game, and of course I'm going to bring up the show again, but whatever. Like, you had your own player within there. You could go and buy experience or whatever points to level up your person there. And I remember telling everyone I knew that played this game, hey, you can't buy those. You can't give in to this, because they're just going to jack the prices next year. It was super cheap. Like, it was probably $1 or $2 to level up your guy like 2 or 3 levels. And I lost the battle, obviously, because it's in every game now. It's in 2K, Madden. It's on all the sports games. You can't play a sports game without some kind of microtransaction system living within it. And it's very depressing.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff happening in the chat here.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
super
Let's
excited.
get to them.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
to do our first real live segment on the show. So if you guys are watching or listening to this in post, what we've done is we have tweeted out and messaged people and let them know that this week on the podcast we're doing a live Q&A for both Ryan and I here on the podcast. And so people that are here with us week to week are excited to finally get their chance to make an appearance on the podcast. So before we get to, I don't know, do we want to read some of the ones that we have before we get to the live chat, or do you just want to jump in with live first and then?
I want to do live first,
Sure.
and then we'll kind of fill in if I notice they have something in common with it.
Sure. Well, the first one I saw, and some of these will be silly, forewarning. Why is your hair lighter than your beard? I was born this way. Thank you, Bellum. I'm going to expose all of you in the chat. Don't think I won't do it.
Short and simple.
Yep.
How do both of you feel about scalpers in the gaming community pre-ordering all the new stuff and then charging 500% markup for it? Obviously, we're against it. I think the better question, no offense, is what do we do to combat that, right?
It's a harder question too, though.
Yeah, for sure. And when it comes to digital items, I mean, I really don't see an answer there, right? I mean, for the hard items like a PlayStation 5, right? That's being scalped. There's solutions to that where you can just wait till you have enough in production. But yeah, in terms of digital items, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, because then you're also talking about the increase in bots that will go try to get that item, right? So you're talking the destruction of a game too. That's a very good question, and I do not know either.
Yeah, same thing. And we saw how even for physical like solutions that might be there, we saw how horrible the PS5 launch was, and for most people, obviously, but
for getting the system,
yeah, and that struggled. It's still an issue for a lot of people. So yeah, it's awful, and we hate it both. So, when will I be playing Escape from Tarkov? Next question.
50 subs. 50 subs. 50 bomb.
Always Game Time. Are you addicted to Valorant, and what steps are you taking to cure this addiction? No, I think I'm just having a lot of fun with it. I do find myself actually getting to the point now where I'm enjoying it, like when I play it, which I know sounds bad, but like it's a game that kind of there's this curve to where because of the difficulty, you're hard on yourself a lot of the time. And now even when I'm like solo queuing by myself playing, I'm enjoying the experience. So I do put a lot of time in. It's one of those games you got to put a lot of time in to be good. So, but yeah, I'm still taking walks and hanging out with my wife. So I don't think it's too bad yet. Yeah,
but it's getting in the way of going pro.
Yeah, that is true. Yep.
What do you guys think about stream
snipers?
About stream snipers? Oh, I got you. In big FPS games like COD. I mean, there's usually, well, I guess the only combating that I've seen of it is they hide their screen, right? And then you don't know where they're dropping. But then games like Warzone, the map's so big, the games are fairly long. You're still gonna have to battle that anyway.
Yeah. It's really bad for streamers in particular, which I guess this is, stream sniping is only pertinent to them. But for anyone that might be listening who doesn't know what stream sniping is, if someone's streaming their live gameplay and people manage to get into the same match as them, then they have a huge advantage. They can see exactly where they are at all times, and they can ruin everybody's fun. And not too fond of it. I haven't had to deal with it, luckily. But some streamers have done a great job of turning this on its head and have done some really awesome, fun community things through stream sniping, kind of backwards, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's also involved a little toxicity as well, right?
For sure. Yep.
Which we talked about last week.
Yeah.
What's your favorite console of all time?
It's a hard one.
PlayStation 2 for me, but that's kind of like just, as a teenager, I just came over to PlayStation from Nintendo, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. There's adult games.
Yep.
Like, that's pretty. And then it's Super Nintendo is right there. So I'm back in the olden days.
Yeah. Thank you, David Guiding Key, for that question. For me personally, I mean, I have a personal connection to the Dreamcast because that was one of the first consoles that I had touched and played a game called Choo Choo Rocket on it with my dad. That was a lot of fun. I think when gaming really started to become a very like real thing and serious for me was the Xbox One, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Being kind of like my first, like, I play games all the time. This is like what I do. This is what I love, consoles. So a lot of fond memories on that one for sure. You don't have a guitar behind you, right, Ryan?
I do.
Oh, well, I have one as well. I assumed this question was to me, Bellum. But yeah, I don't have any plans to do any music streams until we move to the new house, which should be in about a month or so.
Nice. Look forward to that.
Yep, we need some music streams from you though too, Ryan.
Oh, I'm still practicing. I dropped it for a while. I need to pick it back up again.
Now, Ryan, I saw you took off your hat. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah. Bellum asked what I looked like without the hat. The hats are a fairly new development, and I used to hate hats. Like, I played baseball all my life, baseball and softball, and I'd hate to wear a hat for that. But yet, I start streaming this time, and I'm like, I'm going to wear a hat, and I have like 5 hats now. So yeah, that's why I wear a hat, and now here's what I look like without.
Yeah. Skipping ahead, this one's such an inside joke. I probably shouldn't read it, but when will you be plastic dipping this headset orange? Never. I'm scared of breaking it. I have an orange headset that I streamed with for years, and the chat is angry now that I wear a black one on stream.
Replaced it. Wow.
This one's interesting. When are we going to release the OnlyFans, Ryan? That they've somehow found out about our project we've been working on.
It's in post, right? So be patient. Bellum asked, when's the last time you solved a Rubik's Cube?
On stream for a gifted sub.
Oh, that's right.
6 months ago. I used to do this thing where I'd have to solve a Rubik's Cube, just drop everything I was doing and solve one, as part of my commitment to learning how to do it faster. I've since canceled that with, the rise of me playing Valorant. So
yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, I love this question. All right, so the Dr. Shocky, shout out to you guys. Go check him out on stream. If you were to start speedrunning a game, which one would you choose? And I've already heavily debated getting involved with Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy speedruns, because I love the game. The speedrunning is really clean and really easy to get into, I personally feel like. So probably that one. What about you? Do you have a game that you'd speedrun, Ryan?
No.
It's
I have little to no interest in speedrunning. I have a coworker that does speedruns, and I watch it for him, but I really don't like the game. I don't know. It's just a gaming gap for me, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. This isn't a question, but y'all should play Kingdom Hearts. And we talked about Kingdom Hearts actually last week on the podcast.
Yep. Yeah, because that's available on the Epic Games Store, right? Yep. Which console controller is best? I don't have my PlayStation shirt on.
I know my answer. Xbox One X or Series X. Sorry, adaptive triggers and everything.
Hold on.
Oh wait, are the adaptive triggers on the PS5? Am I stupid?
No, there's no adaptive. I'm gonna blow your mind here. Okay. This is the best controller I've ever used, and I'm holding a Xbox Pro controller. It's heavy duty. Like, I could throw this and give someone a concussion. It's got the bottom paddles.
Yep.
Everything comes off, right? So I'm taking the joystick paddles off, right? And then even the pad, right? You can put it in different pads and stuff. It's great. It's a great controller. Yeah, I love it. I use it when I play things that need a controller on PC.
Yeah, those controllers are top notch. I've never had the luxury of owning one, but every time I go to the Microsoft store, I'd pick one up and stare at it longingly.
Shout out to Lubeezy. Thank you for that controller.
There you go. Yeah. So we have a couple other ones now that we're kind of getting towards the end of the people in chat. Certainly submit more if you have. Obviously, we'll have a time cutoff here, and maybe we can tweet out responses later in the week. But there were some really good ones that people who might not be able to be here submitted to us. And so the first one was, what do you do when you are fatigued from a certain genre of games? And that comes from Grims in the community.
I'd dive into that right away. Don't waste your time. If you're tired of a game, no matter where you're at, if you're 98% done with it, drop it. There's too many games out there. Just go pick up something else. Go ask someone that you have something very, very little in common with, and ask them what they're playing, but they're still a gamer, right? And go play that, right? Just totally flip it on its head. Try something new.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There are too many games. And chances are, if you are tired of one, there are several even free options that you could pick up and possibly really enjoy. I suffer from never getting back to games, so I definitely resonate with the being afraid to leave something, but just put it down, play something else.
Yep. I always restart everything when I go back to it.
Me too.
Like, and that's been terrible. Like,
then
I've
I get
started
to the same point and I never finish it. Yep.
Assassin's Creed, like I get to this same-ish area. I've started it 4 times now. It's ridiculous. Such a good game, but it's
yeah.
All right, we got it. We got to read it. It's posted there 3 times. Ryan Bellum and Guiding Key. When is Ben and Ryan going to play EFT together?
We actually have one time. I don't know if you remember this.
What?
Yeah, you and I have played Escape from Tarkov one time, and this was back when it was on my gaming laptop and not my new PC. And I had no idea what I was doing. I think we played for maybe all of 40 minutes, and it didn't perform well on that computer. So that is where my hatred for Escape from Tarkov was birthed.
Oh my, we're gonna have to bring it back. They're demanding it.
If we release a special on Escape from Tarkov, just Ryan and I, you guys will hear about it. I promise.
Yes. Yep. I'm gonna write that down.
Please, they're saying. All right. How many more questions we want to do? I got a couple more.
We got these in the queue. Let's for sure do these ones we wrote down from ones that submitted them early.
Sure. All right, so we have, what is the best and worst game you've ever played, coming from Tree?
You take that first. I need a bit.
Sure. It's really hard, right? I mean, if you're someone that's played as many games as we have, it's hard to like narrow these things down. On a previous podcast, I've announced that one of the worst games, not from a what it is standpoint, but in terms of my enjoyment of it, was Getting Over It, featuring Bennett Foddy. It's the game where you're in a cauldron and you got to climb a mountain, and it's just its only purpose is to make you mad. So that's probably my answer for worst. Best is so hard, man, but I really do always end up coming back to Gears of War. And if you look at the storytelling, the structure, the character development, the action, where it was in its time, I just think it's one of the best franchises that we have still today of that genre. So
yeah, for sure. That's a good answer. I'm going to kind of combo this with another question that Kevin asked. He asked, what games have you spent the most hours on? And I'm going to use that for my best, right? The game that I put the most hours on is easily Elder Scrolls Oblivion, right? And that was on console PlayStation 3, so I didn't even have mods and stuff. I put countless hours on that. Multiple characters maxed. It was ridiculous. It was a good time, but tons and tons of hours. I also got to throw out Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 as my favorites. Best game I ever played from top to bottom, from music to the look to the story to the characters. Metal Gear Solid 3 is really hard to beat.
Yeah, I'm seeing some answers in the chat to that question that I love. David obviously is Kingdom Hearts, and his worst game is Valorant with a smiley face. Cassandra, my wife, says best games Guitar Hero 3 and Mario Kart. So good.
Guitar Hero, nice.
I love those answers. Those are really good. In terms of, back to what you were just talking about, hours in a game, guilty still for Rocket League. And
dude,
I just went on this super hard Rocket League kick with my friends, and nothing has been able to top it yet, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, that one pulls us back in every now and then. We're like, hey, you want to? There's a new season. Should we go check it out?
Yep.
Yep. All right. If you could visit one place in the world for a vacation, where would you go?
So my wife and I would love to go to Australia someday.
Nice.
That'd be really cool to see. We're also kind of scared of Australia because it's Australia. But I'd also love to personally go to Tokyo sometime, England, Ireland. Lots of places in the world I'd like to see. Yeah.
I'd like to see the pyramids. Take me to Egypt. That's where I want to go.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. All about that.
Gotta climb to the top, right?
You got to bribe the guards to be able to do that.
So you're thinking about it the wrong way. You parachute down onto the top.
Ooh,
and then,
there you go.
Yeah.
But they stand like 450 feet tall. I mean, yeah.
This one is from my loving wife. What do you both do to handle gamer sweat? When I read that, I wasn't quite sure how to approach the topic.
I know. It's the hot tub right next to us, chat. That's what the answer is. We just dip and wash off and dry off. We stay fresh.
Oh, I thought you meant the hot tub was causing the sweat. Okay.
Oh, I mean, it probably is.
It's both the
moving on,
and the answer. Yeah, that's great.
So, do you have an answer for that? I feel she
Not
asked
really.
it towards you.
So when I was this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but when I was in middle school, I thought I was super cool and came up with an idea for a controller that would have hollowed out sections in it, kind of like those mice that we see now, where you could add in some kind of ventilation or maybe even a small fan to help with like your hands getting sweaty. Never did anything with it. Already, I found out years later people were trying to do similar things. Anyways, so that could maybe be a thing, but what I see most people say is an under desk fan, which I haven't invested in, but I've heard that's amazing and is a game changer.
Yep, I've heard the under desk fan quite a bit too. All right, there's a really good question in chat from Tree. If you had to live in a video game world, what game world would you live in?
Oh man,
that's top notch. I wish we would have got this one early because I really want to think about it.
Maybe like GTA?
But it kind of go.
Assuming I could respawn like they do, and there's like no penalties, you could just steal cars, work a job if you wanted. I don't know, it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer. Otherwise, mine goes back to like the ancient Egypt and like the whole last Assassin's Creed, not the latest one, not the Vikings one, but what is it? Odyssey.
Origins.
Odyssey.
No, Odyssey is the Spartans.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Odyssey.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I saw David said Pokemon. That'd be super cool. Obviously, that'd be great.
Yeah, like Detective Pikachu. Yeah, nice.
All right, and we have to do this one just because it is us on the podcast. Wheels asked, "What's your favorite Marvel movie?" We've talked about Marvel movies on the podcast previously, but it's a hard one.
Civil War, hands down.
Okay, that's
then
really
Winter
good.
Soldiers right there. Yeah,
I think just for the pure like moment of that last fight scene in Endgame, I'll just say Endgame. I mean, it obviously all builds up and like culminates into that moment. So yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the negative part of me loves Infinity War. Like I love movies where there's a bad ending, right? A negative ending. So yeah, sign me up for an Infinity War too. But yeah, that's those are my answers. Now, there was one more that we missed. What's a game you didn't expect to enjoy, but you ended up liking?
1,000,000% Dark Souls. Yeah, Kevin.
Oh, really?
Community asked this, but so I had played a little bit, but when I was gearing up to start doing, playing through all the different Souls games on stream, I was really nervous that it was going to feel like a grind. There'd be parts I couldn't pass. Now I play it just for fun on the sides, start new characters, and just I could go on and on about why that game is as good as it is, but.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have an answer.
That's fair. Some of these are really good questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. My answer is NHL. It's hockey. It's one of those games that my buddy Bones got me to play, and I've now bought it 4 or 5 years in a row. It's one of those games that just got me hooked. You play together as a team and against others. I suck at it, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, did we get caught up? Did we get all the questions?
Yeah, I think for the most part we've gotten the questions that we are going to read on stream. Thank you guys for participating, entering it, everything. Yeah. I did also miss this, not typical for the podcast, but we got some gifted subs during that bit. So David, thank you for that and for participating in our live segment. So
yes, thank you everyone for participating. The questions were great. You guys did great. Wait, I got one last one coming in late here on my phone. You've been playing games for 30 years and on the internet for 20. How are you still so bad and irrelevant? Mom. All right. I'm done. That's it. See ya.
All right. Shut it down.
Call it.
I'm
out.
Shots fired.
Yes. Gonna go cry.
I feel that way about myself sometimes too, so don't take it to heart, Ryan. You're a great gamer. You're the best Apex Legends player I've ever seen.
Ever, yes. See, I have gear. They sent it to me because I paid them. So, yeah.
Oh man.
But that's all I got, Ben. Spread that peace and love. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ben. And we'll see you next time on the next episode of the Always Gametime Podcast.